Hey guys, we're back with another episode of Words Are Tough. My name is Jose Rodriguez, and I'm here with my co-host
David Diokendo.
And we put together a nice little episode for you today. We're going to talk about current events. Just to let you know, we're recording this episode in advance, so
yeah,
maybe we should title it "Not So Current Events." But I'm sure these are topics that by now you have heard about them.
Like a week or two delay current event.
Yeah, yeah. But by the time you hear this, I'm sure you've definitely heard of it. Some of it's too new, and you know, we'll hope to hear your comments in the comment section. What you think about all these topics.
Yeah.
And the first one we wanted to touch on was,
I forget which one was it.
I mean, I think maybe we'll start and work our way to the happy stuff, you know. And we'll start with the first one, which really impacted a lot of people around this area. I guess Hurricane Ida.
Yes,
which
is my mother's name, which is funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That always adds a little extra to when the hurricane is your name. You know, you're like, God.
It's spelled differently, but said the same way.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it wasn't the whole state, but I did see videos of like actual tornadoes. And I'm like, where is this? And it was like, oh, this is New Jersey. I'm like, what? Like, New Jersey had a tornado. I think like 2 tornadoes. They weren't huge, but still, tornado. It's like,
definitely.
When you think New Jersey, you don't think tornado. You think traffic.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of tornadoes out here, which is a reason why I've delayed ever leaving New Jersey, you know, because I've always wanted to go somewhere warmer. But you got the hurricanes down there. Like, for instance, I enjoy New Orleans.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it's tough to live there.
Or the locals say Nolans.
Yeah, Nolans. Yeah.
But that was my thing, is like, okay, I don't want to live down where it's warm because of tornadoes or because of the the weather or this and that. I can withstand the cold, whatever. But now it's like, so it's cold here and there's tornadoes? Like, I don't know if we could deal with that.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't like destructive, but still, it's like, it's pretty jarring, you know?
Yeah, it just kind of like it built up slowly because we've been getting these like flash flood warnings, and we'd be like, "Oh man, look at that water piling up like
look at that water over there."
And people like streets would be closing and things like that. And I guess people we didn't really prepare as we should. Some towns, I guess their sewer systems were backed up and they didn't unclog, and they got a lot of notice ahead of time. They just didn't expect this much water from the hurricane to hit.
I don't think similar to I think it was last year, the year before that, there was a hurricane, and it was like one night. It was like 2018. There was a pretty bad blizzard, and it lasted maybe like 3 hours. But like all of Route like 280 and 208 and 80 were just like, people just got out of their cars and just walked home. But they're not like, it's not the long dragged out like weather events that like are drastic. It's like literally the ones that like last like 4 hours. It comes and it goes, but like it leaves like destruction in its wake. But it's the flooding mostly happened in locations that are at or below sea level, like Newark, Jersey City, anywhere near the rivers or large bodies of water. Luckily, where I live is like way above sea level, so like the flooding was like almost non-existent. Yeah. And also where I live, there's a lot of greenery. There's like wildlife, we call refuges or wildlife like conservations near my house. So like a lot of greenery. So it's like a sponge. But once you go to like Newark or Elizabeth or Jersey City, is below sea level, and like there's very little to no like plants. Like you need plants. It's almost like your nature's like a sponge. So then it goes into the sewers fill up, and it has to come up. So yeah. This episode is sponsored by Nbox, a modern mailing center designed to meet the security needs of our time. Whether it's shopping for our favorite products or paying monthly bills, statistics show a transition to online convenience. It's quick and simple, which is why we love it. Unfortunately, it's created a new kind of criminal that seeks to steal your identity or take package right from your porch. As a listener, you can enjoy $5 off the lifetime of your subscription to an Nbox package plan when you enter tough words without spaces at checkout. Visit www.nbox.com nboxdelivers.com to learn more.
Awesome. I love Nbox. Check out their website below, and you can check out all their services, their service area, and definitely love using their services. And for our next sponsor, we have Premier Rank Marketing. They can help you out if you have a business, whether it's selling stuff online or you have a brick and mortar location, restaurants, gyms. The company's helped so many people during the pandemic grow their online presence. So if you need any help from social media to Facebook targeting campaigns, Google, LinkedIn, and all the other, even TikTok, they do TikTok ads. Just reach out to Premier Rank Marketing and let them know that WordsrTough sent you, and they'll hook you up with a huge discount. Our third sponsor here, we have Worldwide Solutions, located in Clifton. They do taxes, travel, and insurance. Any type of business needs you have, they can even give you a good direction to go if you need some payroll services, things like that. And definitely check them out. Their info is right below. And our fourth sponsor is Rick's Barbershop in Garfield, New Jersey. If you have a important date coming up, you're going to a wedding, things like that, you're going to be photographed, definitely check them out. They're the most precise barbers in the area, and they'll definitely hook you up if you tell them WordsrTough sent you. Jose and David just mention those names, and they'll be like, no problem, right away. We'll hook you up. We just want to say thank you to all of our sponsors, and back to the show.
So it sucks.
Yeah, we the thing is, in the past we've gone through other storms like Sandy, and before that was Irene. So I see a little pattern here with the I letter. You know what I mean? I see Irene, Ida, Sandy, I and S. Watch out when it's an I or an S.
Like pattern.
Yeah.
Looking at patterns. But if you're like, for example, a great example for those that live in New Jersey is Willowbrook Mall. Like Willowbrook Mall is literally a marsh. It was a marsh that they just put asphalt on top of. So any rain for long durations of time, it just floods completely.
They got hit hard at Willowbrook Mall?
I haven't been there in a bit, but I'm sure it flooded. If literally streets are like rivers, I'm sure Willowbrook Mall got flooded up.
There's a video, Lodi, New Jersey, Main Street, and it's a drone, and it's just going all the way down. It's on Instagram, all the way down Main Street, everything underwater. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's literally rivers. The worst is people think, hey, let me it's just water. Let me just walk here. It's not water. It's it's everything. It's all the stuff that you don't want to come from the source. It comes right back up.
Yeah.
I would not want to walk or wade in that water in any way. It's pretty disgusting, but I don't know. I'm happy where I currently live, but I love urban areas in the city. But when it comes to these sort of big events, those spots get hit hard.
Yeah, it's
most.
crazy. You just see there's cars floating and things like that. Then you see a patch of wild crates floating down the river. These people doing the crate challenge.
Yeah, actually, it's funny. Ida destroyed the crate challenge. It was a huge thing, and then all of a sudden, the crate challenge was really big for throughout August. And then Ida comes and then oh yeah, that's not a thing anymore. Honestly, that's a good segue actually. But kudos to you. That crate challenge, to be honest, it's my opinion. I'm a brown Puerto Rican guy. Anytime I see people that look like me doing really dumb things, I'm or darker than me doing really dumb things, I'm really. I get so upset and disappointed. I'm my people, why? No, don't do that. Why? Don't embarrass yourself. I'm sorry. I hate to sound like a colorist or white, black, or brown, but when I see white people do dumb things, it doesn't. I'm whatever. It really. I'm just crazy white kids doing crazy white kid stuff. But when I see a black middle-aged dude just walking up crates and then falling, just breaking his leg, I legit get so disappointed. I'm no, we've gone so far. Yeah, we've done so much. Now we're back so many years. Is this one really dumb challenge? Is it I don't know where? Do you know where it came from? It just popped up out of nowhere. I don't know where
it came from. I can bet that maybe it started. people like betting some like less advantaged people with money to do funny things for like really cheap money,
like hey,
for
like poor
entertainment.
person, walk up these crates. Okay, I'll give you $10.
Yeah, it started probably something like that, and then it became like, oh, you can't do it, like between friends, like
yeah, I don't. Like you get like if someone bet me, I'd be like, you're right, I can't. And you know what's the dumbest thing? Is thinking, hey, let's put these crates on grass. Thinking, hey, that's a good idea. Actually, you might think, well, if I fall, then I'm going to hit grass. I'll give you that. But it's a less stable and less firm and less level, like, floor, like ground.
And it has give.
And it's going to wiggle. But you actually want to put it on, like, asphalt or cement that was like professionally leveled,
because give them ideas
because it's level.
This is some ninja mind ninja
yeah
shit.
it's a level ground for the most part. But this is one crate video that I literally spent like a whole afternoon just like watching these people just like do it. One lady accomplished it in heels, which was impressive. But one guy was climbing up it, and some dude just runs from the crowd and just drop kicks the crates, and the guy just like, I think he gets knocked out. I don't think he even popped up, and then the kid just runs away. He just drop kicks these crates and just runs away, and then like that's the video. I'm like, but like how? Don't you guys have like work? Like, don't you like have jobs? I don't know.
That unemployment. They kept extending it.
Yeah.
That's the crate challenge was born.
I don't know. Or school started.
When someone told me about the crate challenge, what I did was like I was like, all right, good. I'm just gonna let this build up. So there's a lot of content, like a good show. Like you wait till the season's over so you can binge it. Oh man, it was worth it. The one day I just like hit all the crates.
Yeah. And then overnight it just like stopped. It was like, for the most part, like I don't see any. I mean, the first time I saw it was actually on Facebook, and then it kind of just exploded. I mean, if you know how it originated, I guess I can just Google it, but put in a comment. I mean, or if you did it and why. If you did the crate challenge, why? Just tell me. Like, I don't understand the reason to do it.
Yeah, and it's crazy how like it gravitated toward like more like. You would say like urban areas.
Yeah.
And it's funny. It's hilarious because like the more like I'll see like some dudes doing it in like Tim's,
Yeah.
I'm just like, so this one's gonna be good.
Wearing boots, just like one guy was like wearing a tie, looked like he was just like coming back from work.
They caught him off the bus stop. Like, yo, you won't do this.
What do you like? I don't know. It was just one of those things where I was just kind of waiting for it to go away. But I was just so upset and disappointed, and I don't know. I was just shaking my head the whole time. But if you did it, if you actually did the crate challenge, why? Why would he do that? And did he actually do it? Did he actually succeed in doing it? I mean, there's been challenges in the past, that hit like social media, like the Tide Pod thing wasn't really a challenge. It was just a trend. It was just like a thing to do.
Yeah.
Eating Tide Pods. I don't know. It was like 5 years ago by this point. It was just like a thing. It wasn't even a challenge. It was like a thing to do. Just eat a Tide Pod.
Yeah.
And I don't understand that because there was no challenge in it. Like like the cold, like the ice bucket challenge. It was like an actual challenge to like create. It was supposed to create awareness for what was that condition where you actually couldn't stop moving? I forget. It was some sort of...
Yeah.
I forget but it was like, okay, that actually has a reason for it, and it's actually rooted and it's actually something kind of good. It was meant to create awareness. Sadly, I forgot what for, but I know it was rooted in something good. But the crate thing, I don't know where that came... Like, what is the reason for it?
To raise awareness that people could be really dumb.
The importance for milk? I don't know, because they're like milk crates. Anyway,
I came up with my own challenge for my friend because he was like trying to drum up some business for his bar, and he sent me this picture of this drink that people are drinking, and it was like new like drink that white people drink or whatever, and it was like a big mug of milk with basically 2 hot dogs cut in half in it, Like, so it was like 4 little, and I'm like, first of all, white people do not drink that. I've been around many white people in my life.
Wait, is it cooked hot dog or?
I think they're cooked.
Or
Yeah, like they're cooked before, and then they're put into the milk.
Okay.
So I was like, listen, throw some liquor into that, like a White Russian, like
It'll
that
just,
drink. And I was like, throw some liquor, throw the hot dogs in there. Somebody's got to drink it as fast as they can. If they finish it without puking, they win the challenge.
I think the alcohol might even help. That might help
I was like, we'll call it the Dog the Bounty Hunter challenge. But
no, that's just.
That's how they start, like something ridiculous like that, and then someone actually does it and then puts it on TikTok.
Yeah, and then wasn't there like a milk drinking challenge? Like, can you drink a gallon of milk without throwing up? But that's like literally biologically impossible because like your body will always reject it because it's like a base. And
yeah,
I don't know if that was a challenge or that was just like a thing that people did for fun. I don't know, but. Was that like lactose intolerant kind of like awareness? I don't know.
I think so. And there was something also with the mucus like that builds up.
Yeah,
like,
not good for you.
Drink that much.
That's terrible. Actually, speaking of drinking way too much, I think there's one kid trying to what do you call it when you try to get into a fraternity?
Pledge.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Where they there's 2 different stories. Years can vary, but one was like they made him drink like water, and he actually drank too much water and died of like overhydration.
Hyperhidrosis.
There you go. Hyperhidrosis. Yeah. There you go, Mr. Scientist. Do you know why that? I don't know why that happens.
I think it has something to do with like the balance of the water in your body and like cells freaking out.
I guess your pH level. Or something. I don't know if that's even a thing.
With that. Yeah, it's like your cells freak out and they're like, there's too much water and like, down to like the root, like DNA level.
You just overwater yourself.
Yeah, and your system starts shutting down.
But you know the odd thing about maybe it's like a older person thing. But as a kid, I think I mentioned this before, but whatever. I used to hate anything carbonated. I would drink like completely flat Dr. Pepper. It is like in high school. I would purposely open Dr. Pepper and just leave it sitting for a few hours and then drink it. Mm-hmm. This is when I used to drink a lot of soda when I was younger, and now I love carbonated. I just drink carbonated things for the carbonation, but it's rarely ever soda. It's like just seltzer water with like lemon. I don't know what it is about carbonation now. Even when I go to like, I think we talk about this, but whatever. Even when I go to restaurants, I'll ask for like bubbled. Like, do you want flat or bubble? Like always bubble.
Yeah, in a dinner scenario, it's more classy.
They look fancy.
Yeah. I love carbonation. For me, it's like the seltzer. Like I said, having a long night of like an event or something you're at, you want to like pace yourself. The gas kind of helps.
Yeah, you can't chug anything that's like super carbonated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then also the liquor content. It's almost like a beer, So it's like you're not really hammering down like a mixed drink, So,
right.
Yeah, that's I think there's a place for the White Claws. They've gotten a little stigma, which I think.
Well, it's like almost like not Pabst Blue Ribbon. Is it Pabst Blue Ribbon?
I think so.
Like Pabst Blue Ribbon became like this stigma, like with colleges, like just this really cheap just beer.
Natty Ice too.
Yeah, and I think same thing with like White Claw became just like this thing that a particular demographic only drinks. Mm-hmm. I've had a White Claw. I was kind of like, man, I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was okay. It wasn't a thing I drink all the time, but if I have it, if it's available, if I'm at something that has it, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
But I'm like not fiending for it,
Yeah, definitely.
But this is a really terrible segue, but whatever. This is I think we're just leaning into the whole bad segue. Just
I think I set
thing.
The bar really high on the first one, and then
yeah. I think their first 2 or 3, we had really good like segues, and then like the more we do this, we just don't care about letting things flow anymore.
Yeah.
But there was this one story, and I actually gotta look it up. It's a man cuts, and this might demonetize us, but whatever. Man cuts off his penis and throws it out of his car while being chased by cops.
Oh my god.
And it's like this. It's such a bizarre story. It came out thesun.com, but crazy ride, man cuts off his own penis and throws it from car window during wild police chase, believing it would save the world.
I don't know.
I want to read a little portion of this. This part where when they mentioned the name of the cop, I just started bawling. So a driver cut off his own penis, threw it from his car during a wild police chase on Wednesday. I guess it's September 2nd. Tyson Gilbert, 39, believed that mutilation would save the world, in quotes, and was found driving naked and covered in blood, according to cops. And then police say he had heard voices on his Honda Accord's car radio. That's a really bad plug for Honda Accord, telling him to self-harm to save the world. And then if you go down, Trooper Bobby Johnson. When I pulled it up behind him and turned my lights on, he took off and refused to stop. And then they jumped down to Trooper Johnson added and I'm reading this. I'm like, is this like an Onion article? Because like this guy's name is Trooper Johnson. It's like if for all these younger people, Johnson's another word for penis. And it's just the most bizarre story. But like one thing is like, okay, first of all, how much commitment do you need? First of all, I feel sorry for the guy. He's obviously not mentally unwell, so hopefully he's better. I don't think they actually reattached it. I think nor do you even want a guy like that reproducing.
Yeah, that's true.
He
might still be able to though.
Maybe he already has a kid, but yeah, it's one of those things like that's like one, you're mentally really bad, but like okay, doing anything while driving. Imagine trying to pee in a bottle driving. Like, it's almost impossible.
It's tough. Yeah, I remember we used to have.
I
to
tried
pee.
it once. It's so unsafe. Actually, I pulled over a few times. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah. No.
And it's so hard to do that sitting down. But go on.
Yeah, when we were on the road a lot, it helps. Just a pro tip: you got to take a knee in the van. So once you take the knee down, it kind of like grounds you.
It's a little bit better.
Yeah, and then it makes it okay.
Gatorade bottles are best.
Yeah, Gatorade bottles for sure.
Pro tip. For you young people, think, okay, what should I do if emergencies? Gatorade bottle, always. But not only that, it's like withstanding that pain of doing that while driving. Doing it, but just multitasking while driving is so difficult and dangerous. But imagine like inflicting that much harm to yourself and you're driving. That's I don't know. That's kind of crazy. I mean, I laugh, but I felt bad, but I laugh at the same time because it's such a bizarre story and like, why would he? I don't know. I honestly, I want to see a follow-up article like in a year. Like, hey, where's this guy now? Is he like okay? Is he in jail? Oh yeah, he was pulled over because he like has several crimes. But like, is he like? I want to see a follow-up like article in a year and see where this guy's at.
Yeah, I want to see that like the body cam footage. I want to hear every word he said after they apprehended him. I want all the footage of him in the police station, like what he said, because I want to get to the bottom of it. Like, how was that going to save humanity? You know?
Yeah, like tell me, dude. Like, how was that going to save humanity? And also, imagine being the cop arresting him and you see this naked dude bloody without a penis. Like, just like. How do you not just like pinch your legs together? Like, oh, dude, why would he do that?
Yeah, I would just be like, bro, you're not gonna believe this when you're sober.
I don't know. I hopefully I forgot the guy's name. Hope you're better. I don't know, but like I would not. Whatever it is, whatever's wrong with him, I hope he gets help.
What if someone told you had to do that to save humanity?
Humanity's done. Humanity's over.
You're done, yeah.
Like, you cannot. No, it's just, I don't know, bodily harm like that. I'm just so like, it really makes me uncomfortable. But like, yeah, if it was legit, it was someone legit said, hey, if you gotta remove this appendage of yours to save the world, I'm like, the world's done anyway. It's gone. Like, I'm sorry, my member is not gonna save the world.
Yeah, it's like basically just anybody like being told that, they'd just be like, oh, why would I do that? You know, like it just wouldn't make any sense. No. You know, but for him, it kind of is like a stand-up thing of him to do.
Stand up.
You know,
yeah,
I don't know
dude.
what his other crimes are, so I don't want to like make light and say he did something good. But I mean, he really dedicated his life there to save humanity. You can't really do much more than that.
He committed to his art. Yeah. I just visual it and then like just toss it out the window and then just seeing it just hit like the cop car's like windshield and just wiping off. Yeah. Like
just successfully cutting it off. In general, like
cutting anything off.
And then throwing it while driving. That just is intense.
Quentin Tarantino, make a movie. I don't know of that guy, but there's like a few like random things. I mean, this is just sort of like this funny story that happened to me, unrelated to removing appendages, but I went to Mitsuya, which is sort of this Asian, I believe Japanese, sort of like grocery store / marketplace / like eatery. I think it's in Edgewater, and it has like a bunch of other like stores. I think I mentioned it before. That's where I got this guy here. And it was me and my wife and her friends with her kid, and the kid was like playing a game, and I do aspire to be a dad one day, so anytime I see like a little kid, like a 6-7-year-old, I want to like interact and like, okay, like how do little kids work? Because even though I'm a teacher, I'm not good with little kids at all. Okay. Like I just don't know how they work anymore. Even though we were all little kids at one point.
Yeah.
I would not want to talk to myself when I was 7. So I'm like, oh, okay, let me talk to this girl. She ended up crying, and I'll tell you why she ended up crying. She was playing this little game where you press these sort of almost like buttons, and the goal is to sort of remove all the buttons, but your goal is to have the other person press the last button. I'm not describing it really well, but if you know the game, this is the actual name for it. Or I believe the original was to remove marbles. Mm-hmm. She beat me a few times, and I'm like, okay, well, teach me, show me. She's like, okay, well, you need to remove it, and that's it. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Then I beat her once, and she looked a little shaken by me beating her, and she's like 6 or 7 years old, so it's whatever. And then we play it. She's like, no, we play again. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I beat her again. And then I see like her dad and her mom like watch. She's like, no, they're like, oh, just pay attention, like, try again. And we play again, and I beat her again. I ended up beat her like 5 or 6 or 7 times in a row, and she ended up just crying, and she's like, wants to just run away, and her mom's like, no, don't run away, stay right here. She's like, no, I don't want to play anymore. And I'm like, I look at my wife, and then I look at them, I'm like, I'm sorry. Like, a part of me was like, do I just keep going and beating this girl in her own game, or do I like let her win? And I even spoke to my wife later, like, should I have let her win? Like the whole day was like, I should have let her win. She's like, no, that's not what you do. Just they have to learn, and and then a part of me was like, yay, I did a good thing. But I'm like, but I made this little girl cry, and I gave her like, we were eating like mochi or something, and I'm like, do you want my mochi? She's like, no. I'm like, okay. I don't think I mean, she loves my wife, the little girl. It's like she's hugging her and everything. Me, not so much. I don't think she likes me very much.
I have a similar issue, a problem, where I don't know when to lose. Like I've done that before, where like I'll play pool with somebody, and it's like a fresh meeting, like it's your first time, you're hanging out, and then I'll just like, literally like, I will lose the first game, and I will like graciously lose it and make it look like and then I'll just really like. Just beat them.
So question, is there money on the line?
No money.
Okay, good. All right. So if there's money, then that's just like playing.
No, if there's money, then I definitely am going to try to win. But I've done that before, and then I'm like, damn, I should have just, you kind of let people be in it, have fun. But sometimes I'm there and I realize it and I do it. Sometimes I don't.
I'm good doing that with like adults, like in jiu-jitsu, new guy comes, you just help them out, whatever. But like with kids, I don't really know how to gate, because they don't react the same like adults. They act like kids. Yeah. Which they should, because they're kids. But I was telling my wife, like, I'm hoping if we ever have kids, I know when to like pump the brakes, the competitiveness, because I'll just beat them. Like I have no problem just beating. I guess I am kind of competitive, where I have no problem just beating someone over and over again. But that's because I usually train in jiu-jitsu with adults, not kids. Yeah. I do, but however, when I do train kids, we don't really spar. It's just like them doing the move, But looking back, I don't think I would change anything. I think hopefully the girl learned something. I don't know, but it was sort of like this bizarre feeling. Like I'm turning 36, and I'm making this 7-year-old cry. Like. Yeah, like I should know better.
This is not where where it should be, like the interaction. But you know what you just made me think of, actually, before we move on to something else. There's a nice documentary people could watch. It's called Alphago, and I don't know if you ever seen it.
Goat.
No, Alphago.
Alphago.
Yeah, okay. Alphago, and it's one word. Basically, these whole alpha things, like Alpha Zero was this kind of program that learned how to play chess, and the alpha part of it is it's self-learning, like AI.
These are computers.
Yeah. Okay. So they learn by playing themselves, and like they get like a little database, and they play each other over and over, and they eventually learn how to play by playing. So that's why they're learning the AI part. Yeah, it's different from some chess computers where they just have a big database and know what moves should be played next. Right. They learn because the reason why those are more beneficial is because they might learn something new that we don't know, and then like
they're doing something that they're not told to do. So you actually might discover something new.
So there's this game Go, and it's like really intense game. Popular in like like Asian countries. And if you haven't checked it out, but if you watch the documentary, you'll learn about it. So it's pretty cool. But it's basically the alpha program for Go. And you just when you said you beat the girl and you saw like her just shaking,
yes,
it's part of it. It's a very beautiful documentary.
And the game was originated in China, Japan, Korea.
I think it's no one knows. It's so old.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of the most basic games of all time. It's like a big board and it's like a bunch of dots and squares, and it's just white pieces and black pieces. So the way I explained it to my friend who didn't know what it was like almost like Risk meets checkers, because what eventually you have to do at the end of the game is like cover as much territory as possible, but you can capture people by surrounding their pieces on 4 sides.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really intense.
I think I might have played that game one time when I was a kid. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's a really awesome game that like I think it's like a lot of people don't know about it, and it's a huge community. And apparently there's like some kind of like meditative state involved with it, like
the Zen flow state.
A lot of people pay it. But yeah, you'll learn a lot about it watching the documentary, and it's pretty cool. I just watched that recently.
And when did it come out? Like the year?
Alphago. I think it was like 2017. The game, that's at the focus of the documentary.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Alphago. It's definitely one of those things games I actually want to play.
Yeah, I played right away after I watched it.
But an actual I'm sure you can play it online somewhere or on your phone or some sort of app that's that. But I do notice that there is a difference between analog and like digital play. Like I put quotes, learned how to play chess on a computer, and then once I got into analog, I was like lost. I couldn't figure it didn't correlate 1-to-1.
Yeah.
I actually think I work better. It's easier for me to go from analog to digital than to digital to analog. It's at least for me it is. But I gotta relearn chess because it was all based on the references or the cues that the screen will give me. It will give me like a little like hint, like this one will shine or that one, like certain a pawn will like light up or bounce to tell me, okay, is this guy? Oh, okay, cool. But when I'm doing it in person, I'm like, oh, these things don't move. They're not gonna give me a hint.
You're like poking it with a twig.
Go. And actually physically moving it, not just clicking it, and then it moves by itself.
Yeah. Chess is interesting. I play it daily, and that's the thing with chess. Like when they released these computers, humans didn't have really a shot. Then with Go, it was different because they thought Go was so expansive that like a program couldn't figure it out. At least they forecasted like before 2050, maybe, and it's kind of like sad because it's like the computers are here already and they're it shouldn't be like this shouldn't be happening yet. Like we're losing our grasp.
And literally learning.
It becomes a human versus computer thing.
But humans made the computer to learn.
No, exactly. So that's another debate. The team goes like, this isn't a computer win because we built the computer. So it's kind of like a human win again. But when it comes to AI, you never know what can happen when you get into the singularity. But we don't want to get too into conspiracy.
Well, I always I see those videos of like those robots like jumping boxes and whatever. Actually, that's a thought. Why don't you get one of those robots to do the crate challenge? I wonder if they'll succeed.
Yeah.
But people talk about like, oh, the robots are going to take over. Like, I'm like, just stop making robots. But we can't do that because we're like, I think humans have this sort of like need or urge to like create or push whatever it is they want to, like, how far can we take this thing? Or like if you're this Alphago program, like if you're afraid of it learning, like just stop doing that thing, but we can't.
Yeah, and I think we're going to make everyone proud by this last segue that might end off this episode. Beginning with the robots, this is not financial advice. We're not financial advisors, but one thing that I would say is if you are a fan of some stocks, I would be looking heavily into Tesla right now because they are one of the leading robot companies.
Yeah.
And once these Tesla robots come out, people are forecasting that stock to go to like 3,000-4,000, like Amazon style levels. Right now, Tesla's still around 600-700. Last I checked, I don't own any Tesla, but I'm very heavily debating.
I don't do it, but you should.
I'm heavily debating getting in, but that's something that's a signal out there, of people that own Tesla, and leading to our next topic is AMC.
Right. I think, and I've been following Reddit stock, AMC stock, Reddit subreddit. I don't know what you call it. I still haven't really figured out Reddit. I still haven't really figured out anything, but I think I'm an ape. I think they call it apes.
Yeah.
Because honestly, like I was saying, and I forget by this point, of past podcasts about getting into AMC stocks, and the main reason I got into stocks, specifically AMC or Nintendo, is because I consume and or enjoy those things, those products. Like, I like playing video games. I have a PlayStation, so I invested in Sony. I like watching MCU movies, so I invested in Disney, et cetera, et cetera. So usually I'd sort of invest in things that I'm aware of. And I in the past, I had friends that say, oh, invest in this, invest in that. And I'm like, cool, but what is it? And they're like, oh, and they'll tell me it's like something bizarre. I'm like, I have no clue what that is. So I have no clue how to gauge or to even have an attachment to the stock. It's just a number to me.
Yeah.
For some people it's good, for some people it's bad. For me, I had to invest in things that I actually consume and or like. So I love movies. I talk about movies all the time. I guess for food, they're called foodies.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for moviegoers, you're just movies. Moviegoers. I don't know. I wasn't intending to sound funny, but that was funny. So I got into AMC stocks, and it was down to like $9-10. I bought like 10 shares or so at like $9 or $10, and then like little by little going down the rabbit hole researching certain things. I'm like, oh wait, there's like this whole genre or culture of people like really into like AMC, and then like I started reading up on like all like dark pools and all that, which are just, I don't even want to like explain it because I have no clue what a dark pool is. But I'm like, oh wait, this is like this huge like backdoor like nonsense fuckery happening. It's like, it's one of those things like, when people give you financial advice, like, oh, like people should start investing money, and then they start doing it and they're like, oh wait, stop, like don't invest your money, like, but you said invest your money, so we're doing investing your money, and we're collaborating and discussing our investments, and like you guys do, your hedge funds do, where you collaborate and decide, hey, we're gonna like pull out now, or we're gonna pay now, or buy now, sell now, and we're doing the same thing, and now it's not okay.
Yeah.
Now when we're doing it, I can't say we. Now when these group of people are doing it, it's like bad. But when you guys are doing it, it's fine. And also there's things like that happen before the quarantine, where literally certain government people, entities were told ahead of time, because they kind of decided it when the shutdown was going to happen, when quarantine was going to happen. So they started selling their stocks.
Yeah, they liquidated their assets, and
then like all the stocks dropped. Like, why that happened? And then like a week later, a month later, like we're quarantined, and all these sort of companies that they had stocks in like was gone. So which is so like, it's kind of messed up. And also, isn't that insider trading? Technically,
no, because if you just sell your own stock, it's not. It's if you tell someone and you have insider knowledge about your company, like kind of like how Martha Stewart did it.
Oh, okay.
And then you tell someone else, and they all liquidate their assets.
Like, hey, by the way, I'm gonna like sell some stocks, or I'm gonna do this with my company. Just FYI. Okay, that's different. Yeah,
like you tip someone off, like, hey, we got a lawsuit coming, and you should sell all your stock, and they sell like millions of the stock, and it's not made public to all the shareholders.
Okay, then never mind. That's different.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my sort of AMC tidbit. I'm not saying I did tell two friends like, hey, letting you should definitely invest in this I said literally buy it, like I said, how much money do you have? They're like, oh, like $100. Like get $100, buy a few shares, and just leave it alone. And I said in a year or 2, maybe 3, you'll thank me. Just buy it and just leave it alone. Some people are more active in it.
Yeah.
Like they buy low and hold high and et cetera, et cetera. But
yeah.
But yeah, so AMC and like Nintendo, those sort of entertainment kind of companies I tend to like gravitate towards.
Yeah, some that I would suggest, Skills, gaming company. I like Activision.
Activision.
Some companies that I've, Blizzard. I think it's some of the companies I've invested in that are in the gaming thing. But yeah, that's, it's interesting to get into it and learn, like just keeping up with the stocks and how it works. But so I think we are good with this episode. I would like to thank you guys again for making it this far into the video. If you have, please, for this week's contest, for the 50 Dogecoin, I would just say leave a comment below with any stock that you own, the name of the ticker, and just tell us what the company is, and I'll send you some Dogecoin.
So if you leave it a comment, Jose will give you
50 Dogecoin.
50 Dogecoin.
Yeah. Yeah, leave the comment specifically a stock that you own and the ticker name. And so just leave the comment below, then reach out to me.
Via Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, preferably. But through the Words Are Tough Facebook, give us a like. Give us a like, give the video a like.
Yeah,
to win the contest. Like
I said in the last one, if you've gotten this far and haven't liked the video or subscribed, shame on you. Just do it. Again, everything is an algorithm these days. If you don't like or comment, or even dislikes work just fine as well. It helps the channel grow, and the more the channel grows, the more you'll see us talk.
Yes. And so reach out to us. Let us know if there's any topics you want us to talk about. We're gonna start bringing in some guests, right? We're looking
that
at
is the plan. It's just there's a lot of logistical stuff.
Yeah.
And I know we've been saying that. I have a few friends that are like, hey, I want to get on your podcast, and I'm like, just give it a second. We need to figure things out. And timing and everything. And by the way, we don't do this this is not like a day job. We actually have like jobs, so this is like a side fun project, and hopefully it grows.
Yep.
But it only grows if you're active and help us out.
And it's on you to help us grow.
Yeah.
the listeners.
It's collaborative.
Yeah. Click those buttons. It takes 5 seconds, and it'll help us out a lot. Again, thank you for joining us on this next episode of Words Are Tough. My name is Jose Rodriguez, and my co-host
David Diokendo.
And have a great night, and we'll see you soon.
Bye-bye.